Hi, I'm Melissa Darnay, and you are sipping with the Wine Maven. A lot of the wines I talk about on my show will really knock you out. But if you really want to get knocked out, then you need a professional anesthesiologist like Dr. Mark Segal. Dr. Segal, welcome.
Thank you.
Now, I know you worked really hard to put that DR in front of your name, but since we're wine friends, can I call you Mark?
Yes.
Absolutely. So wonderful. Thank you so much. Now, I have a question that I've always wanted to ask. When I'm knocked out on the operating table, what exactly are you doing?
Well, we're watching things, but I always tell people we're like the pilot, and the surgery is the in-flight entertainment. So we just like to keep the plane.
I'm usually people's entertainment, but it's nice to know when you cut me open, I'm still your entertainment.
Exactly.
Mark, all this talk about cutting makes me want to really feel like I'm still alive. And nothing makes me feel more alive than spicy ethnic food. Do you like spicy ethnic food?
Absolutely.
Great. Well, we're going to have some in a little bit, but first, I'd like to introduce you to the wine that goes amazing. In fact, it's my favorite with spicy ethnic food. It's Gewürztraminer. It's originally from Germany, but the Frisch Gewürztraminer is from California. How about that? It's from the Monterey area where it's nice and cool, just like Germany. Now, Gewürztraminer is one of those wines that most people have heard of, but a lot of people don't feel comfortable pronouncing it. So two things. First of all, if you can't pronounce it, just get close. It doesn't matter, it's wine. The second thing, here it is, really slowly, Gewürztraminer. There you go, not as hard as it sounds. How about that? Are you ready to taste it?
Ready to taste.
Okay, let's go ahead and swirl it. Gotta get this nice and open. Look at the color. Look how it's dancing under the lights. Okay, now go ahead and smell it for me. Now, Mark, since you're a man of science, are you willing to do a little sensory experiment?
Sure.
Okay, even if I blindfold you?
Even more.
Oh, there you go. We have so much fun on these shows. Here is Stacey Wetzel of Cater 10, and she brought her own personal blindfold. I think she travels with one. And she is going to blindfold you. We're going to make it so that you can't see anything. And you just let me know when you're good to go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put different things under your nose. Okay, are you ready? Mm-hmm. So the first thing I want you to see, it's right under your nose now. I want you to see if you can figure out what that is. Do you smell it?
No.
You don't
Try
smell
again.
it. Okay, let me do something. Let me make it a little bit more fragrant. Now try it.
It's I want to say it's some citrus.
Okay. What would your guess be?
Either lemon or grapefruit.
Okay, you're right. It's grapefruit.
Okay.
Now, what I want you to do is I want you to sip your not sip your wine. I want you to smell your wine. So I'm going to put it right there for you. Do you smell that same grapefruit smell in your glass?
Yes.
Okay, great. We're gonna move on to the next one, and they're gonna get increasingly harder, and it doesn't have to be food that's in this bowl. Okay, here's the next one. It's right under your nose. What do you think that is?
Well, try again.
It's harder than it looks. You should try this at home. Best guess.
Well, the problem is that it smells like soap, which could have all sorts of fragrances in it, and I can't pick out what it is.
I'm going to put it right under your nose again. Is it still soap?
Well, it's tough.
How about roses? Rose petals.
That's a kind of soap I've had before.
You're right. We've all had rose.
Yes, I get the rose now.
Soap. So this is rose. So I'm going to let you take another sniff of this. And then take another sniff of your wine. Do you smell that? A very floral smell?
I got floral.
Okay,
yeah.
Absolutely, there's some floral. Okay, these are getting increasingly harder. So I'm gonna do something, everyone else can see what I'm doing, but you can't, to make this a little bit more fragrant. Okay, it's right under your nose. What do you smell?
That is almost, I want to say like juniper or some, since you didn't say yes.
You got the first letter right. Or no, it's the same sound, not the same letter. I've been drinking too much.
Where is it?
Okay, it's right here. Give up?
Well, I'm gonna have to.
Okay,
But
this
I'll
is
say, oh, yeah.
fresh ginger.
Oh, okay.
So smell
Ginger.
again.
Yeah, no, I got ginger now. That's
Okay,
fine.
smell again. Okay,
Yeah.
now smell your wine.
Okay.
You smell that in there?
Perhaps.
Okay, there's a little bit of spiciness in there.
Spicy.
And that's okay if you don't get all the flavors, even if you do this at home. Now this last one's going to be the hardest, okay? So I'm gonna put it right under your nose. What do you smell? Here it is again. What does it smell like?
I'd say it almost smells sort of buttery or maybe chocolatey.
Chocolatey, okay.
Yeah.
This is actually a lychee fruit. Smell again. Have you ever had a lychee fruit?
Maybe
Perhaps,
like a
maybe.
dessert garnish
Yes.
at some Asian restaurant.
Absolutely. So he knows where they're from. Lychees are indigenous to China, and in China, everyone eats them just like we eat plums here. Most likely, if you're going to have them, you would have eaten one at a Chinese restaurant at some point. In fact, you could go tonight to a Chinese restaurant and order one for dessert. I got these. These are canned. You can get them at your nice specialty stores or even your Asian grocery stores. Okay. We are going to go ahead and take your blindfold off.
Are you sure? So much fun. Anything else you want to do?
We've never done this. We think we're going to do it again. You were a great sport. Now what I'd like you to do is I want you to smell your wine one last time now that you've smelled the 4 prominent aromas in this wine. And let me know what you think. Which one do you think is most prominent?
The grapefruit.
The grapefruit. Grapefruit. And I would say second is lychee. And the reason I did lychee, even though most Americans have never had lychee, is because lychee is one of the most prominent aromas in Gewürztraminer. So again, if you haven't tried it, just go do something fun and give it a try. You ready to taste? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's go ahead and take a taste. Does it taste like you thought it would based on the smell?
Yes.
Okay. Now, is there anything that surprised you about this experiment?
The initial smell was it was a little vague, and then having it broken down to specifics, you can pick each of those components out. I guess I had fruit and sort of more of the melon, maybe citrus, and I guess the lychee's a little bit more specific. It's not melon, but it's a melony kind of aroma, not like a berry fruit. So I guess it was sort of breaking down the components is helpful. And then the spiciness, I couldn't quite put my finger on, and clearly even blindfolded, I couldn't put my finger on that it was ginger, but that was having it broken down into this is what's in there is very helpful.
Absolutely, and that really is how you learn about wine. So if you're wanting to pump up your wine knowledge, go ahead and do that. Take the winemaker's notes, figure out what's in the wine, and do the blind taste test. You'll be amazed at how much fun you have. And then who knows what that'll lead to, right? Okay, now we know this goes with spicy ethnic food. It can go with everything from Chinese, Japanese, Indian. Let's see what Stacey Wetzel, Ms. Foodles herself of Cater 10, has in store for us. Stacey, come on back.
Should I bring the blindfold?
Yeah. We're going to make him eat it blindfolded.
Only if you bring a bib.
Okay, wow, look at this. What is that?
Thai shrimp curry.
My goodness, I wish you were here to smell how good my house smells. It smells amazing.
There you go.
So as our honored guest, Mark, you get to take a bite, make sure and get a little bit of everything on your spoon, and then before you swallow, go ahead and take a sip of the wine. So you're gonna put it in your mouth, chew it up. I know.
Okay.
He's like, it's gonna fall out. He's like, this is more complicated than making sure you don't die on the operating table. I love having men of science on. They're so precise. Do you see how the Gewürztraminer pairs nicely with the spicy food. And I'll be honest with you, Gewürztraminer is not one of my favorite wines to just sit and drink. But when I have something spicy like this, I do love it. So go ahead and take another sip. Well, there you have it. Mark, how can people get a hold of you if they do need to be knocked out?
Well, they usually don't get a hold of me directly. They get referred by a surgeon. And so I can be contacted by just email drgassman93@gmail.com.
What a great email, drgassman93@gmail.com. Well, here's hoping you don't have to be knocked out anytime soon. But if you do, make sure and get a man of science like the one we have here. Until next time, cheers. Cheers.